Going live. And welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James.
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to our weekly booze, news, and reviews. We're back, baby.
We're back. Hello.
Back from hiatus. Sorry, we've had a rough and rocky start to this year. It's been a rough and rocky start. For that, I apologize. But for those of you, for those 14,200 of you and plus that have stuck with us,
For those 14 of you that
for those
listen to
14 of you that have stuck around, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes,
Love ya.
we do. Cheers, Tater Dom. Cheers.
Hey,
We're letting everybody
cheers.
roll in, so we're giving everybody
We're gonna have a slow
giving everybody some
roll
time.
start.
Yeah, we're gonna have a slow roll.
Sorry. Again,
It'll
we
be a slow
apologize.
burn until we get to the show. So
We apologize that we've
Um,
left you without your weekly Whiskey Wednesdays. But as you saw in maybe the show title, we're not drinking whiskey tonight, are we? No, we stopped.
We
Wait, was
stopped
it? We
drinking
stopped
whiskey.
drinking whiskey for the past couple of weeks.
no, I you see all these whiskey podcasts and all these reels, with the like the crazy faces, and it's like, don't click on this video if you don't want to know the best value in whiskey. Or
And then you got those girls that have the voice. They're like, don't click on this if you don't want to have the most comfortable hoodie in the entire world. Don't buy this. And I'm like, shut up. This is the stupidest marketing ploy I've ever seen.
What is like reverse psychology?
And
That's
yet
it.
we've
Yeah,
stooped to it tonight.
And
Stooped
I just
to
see
it.
all these reels, and it's sad. And what like it's an interesting topic, right? Because I think we've gotten to a point with social media that, and I know this is a bold statement,
Oh,
influencers have jumped the shark. I think that
we're all jumping the
there's
shark.
and what I mean by that is that there's so many shills out there that
Oh.
are paid actors, basically, that
Bad actors.
bad
paid
paid actors that are quote unquote influencers that, companies have all caught on by now. Like a lot of
Everybody's
these big
doing it now.
players have their own teams, and they all have adopted this influencer format.
Because it worked for so long.
It worked for so long. And now you even see like podcasts are a dime a dozen.
Yep.
You see the same like format of like on your reels now of like, we went to the best hidden gem in Las Vegas, and
Follow me if you wanna see
and they use
more.
the same buzzwords, and it's like this is the most hidden gem Italian restaurant in all of Las Vegas, and it's
Hidden gem.
and literally it's probably like the worst restaurant in Vegas, by the way. Like these places are bad, and I'm just using like a random example. But
New
it's
York
like,
Sam's.
we
It's in
got-
a house downtown.
yeah, we got secret access to the kitchen. Oh, that's actually a great example. What was that?
We're not saying it out loud. That's why I said New York
There's a really
Sam's.
bad.
And not what it actually is. But it is really not good. But you saw all the people. Look, there are real bullet holes in the house
Michigan
out
Mike's
front.
in a brick building downtown where it only seats 6, has some of the worst Italian food on the planet.
I do want to just say for anybody who's caught on to what we're talking about, it used to be good. At one time, it was very good, and the shtick was great.
It was
that
a
you're
true,
in a house.
a true hidden gem.
It was, but not
you
anymore.
had like the grandma in the back, or like
not that. It's not that anymore.
you had the good fellas making spaghetti sauce like they did in prison,
Yep.
following that recipe to the T.
Paisanos out serving it to you on
but
the table
no,
in Mamma Mia's
this is
kitchen.
20 years
I mean,
ago.
it's big open
They've
concept
all-
house, but that
they've
it
all
doesn't.
sold
Michigan
off,
Mike's is not. It's not what
no.
it is.
And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they've had excessive food violations
Oh yeah, no.
from the health district. Like
We-
they've been shut down.
I went there 2
couple
years ago
times.
and was like, "Wait,
Oh,
why is
that's,
this
like,
this is
fairly
not good."
recent.
It was pretty
Yeah.
recent, but I was like, "I'm not going back."
Yeah, but back to the influencer chat. It's just, in my personal opinion, you don't know what's reliable anymore, right? And that's where
We come in.
well, I was going to say that you kind of have
That's where
to
we start.
stick with your tried and true influencers that have been in the game for a while.
We aren't shills.
And-
We have no sponsorship.
I mean, we are tooting our own
Everybody
horn here.
hates us.
But-
We give you the truth, the last honest,
yeah,
whiskey
true
res-
unbiased
show.
opinions. it's just crazy because I'll go through reels, you know, in that brain rot right before you go to bed, going through reels, and it's like, wow, this is the exact same format as this other person's reel.
Yeah.
And we're in Vegas, so like there's tons of influencers in the
Well, they've
city.
really descended in the last year.
They
year and a
really
half.
have. And I think a
They've
lot of them
all
just
descended
migrated
into
from
the city.
California, and they've
Yep.
all kind of descended to Vegas, and they all kind of shill content, and it's all the same. And you guys can remember, so many of these people are paid, and they don't tell you that before they do their shtick.
We should really do it.
And
We should really expose some of the best bars. We could do it.
yeah,
we know them.
We do, but it's sad when you see bad recommendations, because I think that manipulates like our fans, our viewers, our people that like look at Vegas content especially, and they see this reel and they're back home in like Lancaster,
I gotta
Pennsylvania,
go there.
and they're like, "Oh, I need to go to, you know, Michigan Mike's downtown,
Oh,
right?
no.
Or I got to go
And that's
to,
bad.
you know."
But like we've been to a lot of the bars and a lot of the original. Well, I say original clubs because it's been a minute since I've been to some good clubs, but I've been to some good recent clubs too. But like I think a great recommendation is, forgive me, the lobby bar at the B,
Petrosian.
the Petrosian. Still a classy
It's always
bar.
yeah.
Live
I mean,
piano, good drinks, a great cocktail invented at that bar.
absolutely. That's where the one and only Tony
Ghanem, yeah.
did
Friend
the
of the
cable
show.
car, created the cable car, I think not there, but at Fontana. Remember when Mayfair is where the Fontana Lounge used to be?
Oh, I do remember that.
And I'm really going back in the Bellagio memory bank here.
Yeah.
And I think at Fontana Lounge, that's where he made it. Or did he make it at Shintaro? They used to have an old Japanese restaurant where...
No, I don't think it was at Shintaro.
It's in a random spot, but if he's listening,
but Mr. Wynn,
Mr. Tony,
Mr. Wynn asked him for this iconic cocktail, and that's how we get the cable car.
That's how we get the one and only
and
cable
it was
car.
Iconic to the Petrosian. Like we think
It was,
about the Petrosian,
yes.
And that's an iconic cocktail.
Well, and they still to this day, I mean, as of a few years ago when I last
Tony,
went
we
there,
love you.
they were making the recipe the same. And there's a very particular recipe that you have to use specific. And I'm going to throw a name out there, and it's a very polarizing rum, and that is Captain Morgan Spiced.
Yeah.
Just classic.
Don't love it on its
Morgan
own,
Spice
but it's a good cocktail mixer.
It has to go in the cable car. And there's been so many people that have tried to reinvent the cable car or make it bougie or add some different type of
Captain Morgan's. We gotta bring this up.
No, there's something specific to Captain Morgan Spice rum that adds to the flavor of the cable car, and you have to have that, and you have to have the cinnamon sugar rim in the martini glass. Like, there's a very particular way that you have to prepare it.
It's just like, your Nana's banana bread is not your Nana's recipe unless that recipe is followed.
Well, and you don't know if you don't know. So you don't know what it tastes like unless you've had the one at the Bellagio.
Which is why we need to make reels. Now we're taking it full circle to make the recommendations about where to go in this city and have a real cocktail at a real cocktail bar. And stop listening to all these shills that we were just talking about.
And like they'll go to a bar in some like commercial plaza in like Summerlin where it's like, no, nobody goes out here. Nobody is out here in some commercial plaza at a bar that opened up a year ago. This is best in the city hidden gem in Las Vegas, folks.
They
always
use
don't
folks
want too. I'm like,
the greatest cocktail experience, then you shouldn't come out here to downtown Summerlin at the Snoozy Cat restaurant and bar.
And we're not going to call out names, so we've made up all these names. Michigan Mike's,
Snoozy Cat's
Cat. These are not real places.
It is an allegory.
I don't want to call people out yet.
Probably know.
Yeah, I don't want to call people out yet. So.
Jimmy, all right. So where have we been?
Well, the name of the show, we've stopped drinking whiskey as of a couple. No, we have not. I have not.
You have, but I have. So I've been in the hospital. I've been at Down and Out. No sob stories.
Yes,
this isn't a sob story. It's just an update. I've had some issues. I'm getting better. I'm getting there. I still can't really drink, and so I have not had.
You've been abstaining.
A cocktail, an alcoholic beverage, an adult soda, since we barreled the mead, which was how many days ago?
It was exactly 3 weeks ago.
21 days to
So
today's date. So it's been 21 days since my last adult beverage.
oh, the chat just like totally lit up. Apologies. I don't know why it just caught
Oh,
up.
hello.
It just scrolled. Uncle P, welcome to the show. Hank, welcome,
Welcome.
to the show. And
Welcome.
Preston.
Preston, we got to talk.
We gotta talk. We gotta talk. Why don't you hold up?
Preston, we got to talk.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We got to talk.
We'll get to that towards the end of the show.
All right. So we got this barrel. So I've been down and out. You've
Hey,
been
so-
busy.
Hank has a really big question for you then. So
Oh, yeah.
since you
What's up,
stopped
Hank?
drinking whiskey, are you now just smoking weed now? And that's that filler
Hank knows
to fill the gap.
about the flume. No, I haven't been able to do anything
He
because
hasn't
they got
done
me all.
anything. He hasn't
They've
done
got me all
anything.
prescribed up, and I have to wait. I got so many tests to go. I still got
So,
about like
yeah.
2 to 3 weeks to go.
He's straight edging
before-
it for a while.
Yeah, I'm riding the edge. But that doesn't mean that I can't sample and spit. And so I'm going to pull a one out of the
Classic.
old Aaron.
Classic
book.
Aaron smoke wagon maneuver where he's
Uh,
got a spit cup. Think about that though, like someone like him where he's blending barrels all day long.
Oh, you'd be ripped.
You can't
24/7.
you can't be drinking, or what do they say? You can't do your own stock, or what's the saying?
you can't get high on your own
own supply. That's it. Like so. No, but
I mean, you
in all,
can, but
you
you never get any
can.
work done.
Yeah, in all seriousness, like he has to be in the right headspace all the time. And he's
Yeah.
blending,
Yeah.
even a dozen barrels a day. You can't be pounding.
No, that man's a scientist. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
He's a cool
So-
son of a gun, and he rocks that cowboy hat hard. And he is, that man is a true cowboy. But he's also a scientist, and you watch his shows. If you ever watch any of his reels or his shorts,
Follow him at Smoke Wagon on
Instagram.
Instagram. He's always doing reels.
He's also a true scientist. I mean, that man puts on a lab
Yeah.
coat, and then he gets to talking about the polyphenols and the way that the alcohol and ethanol molecules are moving together
Yeah,
with
and
the vanillins of the barrel, and you
Yeah.
go,
aging characteristics in the
Need a
Vegas
degree to watch this
desert.
channel.
Yeah. So
so we're going to be doing a little something, but really the point of this is, so I haven't had anything to drink. I haven't been drinking whiskey, but I got to get my palate back into it. And so if you've taken a little break, if you did dry January, or you took a little bit of a break,
losers.
I'm disappointed in you. No, but if you did,
January.
how do you?
Nobody's watching this show that did try January.
Again, I'd be disappointed.
Chris Conrad, welcome to the show.
But if you've taken a little bit of a break, maybe you switched it up, right? Maybe you decided to go another direction, but now you're ready to come back to tried and true
Whiskey.
whiskey. How do you get your palate back into it without it being this burn and blow up and kill your palate? And you're like, oh my God. How do you ease back into it? And so I asked James to help me ease my palate back into whiskey and hopefully ease all of you back into it as well. And James, what did you pick tonight?
The one and
behind
only,
everything.
as you guys can see it here on camera, our friends at good old Buffalo Trace. So good old Buffalo Trace, and we'll go through the
a
stats
standard.
on there, but you think of just like a staple, right? You think of something that, here's the thing. He's been out of the game for say like a month now, a little bit over a month. I'm not going to say breakout, the Elijah Craig barrel proof 60%er or the Jack Daniels single barrel 67%er,
Thank you.
or a Coy Hill, some hazmat.
Really
You
burn me
have to
out,
really ease your palate back into it, because at this point, it's with your palate. I almost say that it's like a perishable skill. Like you start to kind of lose the recognition
Yeah, I'm a
of
little out of
those
practice, I
different
feel.
flavors. Yeah, you kind
Yeah.
of get out of practice. Preston is Hank's never heard of it. Never heard of Buffalo Trace.
Oh.
Preston's solid 80 proofer with an ice cube is his go-to.
Okay.
Yeah, tried barrel strength once, and that was not the business. Oh, cheers to that. But right when you poured that, I even got a little bit of the nose, like right off that, like from here, which is surprising for a 40%er.
Yeah, well, this is a single barrel select, actually, that
Classic
you picked.
bubblegum.
So this is a
already.
Buffalo Trace single barrel select. So this is not just regular Buffalo Trace. Of course, you're going to pick something that is a little up there in true Barrel Buddy style. But even at a single barrel select, this is not barrel proof. This is single barrel. It's coming out of a single barrel. It has been proofed down to a 45% or 90 proof. So just remember that barrel proof and single barrel, not the same thing. Barrel proof talks about the proof that the whiskey was when it was put into the barrel. They keep it at that proof when they
and see if a screen share comes through. Screen share comes through.